Welcome to Module 3. It's all about planning. For me, that's my favorite area in management because you have to make all of the different pieces of the puzzle work together in their best way. And it's an exciting challenge that I enjoy. First on your list, after watching this video, of course, is completing the manager interview if you haven't already completed it. If you did do it by September 16th, you'll get extra credit. But you do have till the end of this module to submit it, and I will award points. You have 4 quizzes in this module. Chapter 5 is about planning and decision making. As you move up in a company, risk gets more, I guess you could say expensive, because the changes and concepts you come up with tend to cost more and put more of a risk on the company as a whole. So as you're making your decisions, consider how that process is governed in order to protect the company overall, especially for new managers. Chapter 6 is about organizational strategy. There's a variety of different ways that decisions can be made and how planning can be completed. And this chapter goes over some of the different options. Chapter 7 is about innovation and change. I love when new things can be incorporated and that you're able to use your creativity in your decision making. Chapter 8 is about global management, and more companies have a global presence. Just by putting up a website, you have technically a global presence for a business. Doesn't mean you'll get a lot of international traffic, but the fact that you could changes how your business is done. Our discussion in this module is about innovation and creativity. It's so cool, the things that students share. I look forward to seeing what images you post. It's up to you. Anything related to CSI or your time in the BME program is fair game. What is creative to you? Is it where you do your homework? Is it how you do your homework? Maybe it's a sign that you have over your desk that encourages you to go on. What is it that is innovative and exciting to you? By the way, that is the #1 requested skill that companies are asking for as we move forward. They know that there's going to be a lot of change in how business is done. And when you have someone who works for you who recognizes the importance of change and can come up with creative ideas for problem solving, that's a very valuable employee. Now, I am asking you to post at least 3 images. You can get more and get extra points. And I'm looking forward to a variety of items. Next on your list is rational decision making. This steps back into Chapter 5. Rational decision making is important because it sets the tone and it sets legal precedent for your organization. When you're making a decision, it is important to be as transparent as possible so that if it is called, your decision is called into court, you are able to cover yourself by showing that you looked at all options equally and fairly and graded each one independently. When we were looking to decide which learning management system we would go with, we first sent out a request for proposals. and we had a variety of companies submit their proposals. We had an initial round where we had set criteria ahead of time that the company had to be in business for at least 5 years, and that they had to have, I can't even think of everything. They had to have the purchase price within a certain minimum or maximum, things like that. And then we narrowed it down to 3 finalists, and we had preset the questions that we would look at and review for each area. We didn't know what each other were submitting as decisions, and then we got together after everyone had done their reviews, and Canvas was the winning best option. With this, you're going to be going in 3 pretend job offers, and you're evaluating what job offer you want. So you would come up with 10 criteria. What's important to you? It may be that you want weekends off. It may be that you won't work for a company that's closed or that's open on Sundays, or whatever is important to you. And then in each row, only one can get a number 3, so the highest number of points. One has to have a 2 and one has to have a 1. So in each row, there will be a 3, a 2, and a 1, or a 1, a 2, and a 3, or a 2, a 3, and 1, whatever. But each row can only have the 3 numbers one time. Then you total up your numbers, and the one with the highest score is the one that you would choose. It allows you to make decisions without coloring that final decision-making process with personal bias. Next on the list is guest presenter. Well, you don't actually have to watch this video for right now, because we're lucky enough that Greg is going to be coming in person, and so you have the option of coming to class to watch and enjoy his presentation and ask questions, or you can take part at a distance. If I can get it to work, I'm hoping to stream live. Or the third option is I will be recording his presentation when he's here, and you'll have the opportunity to watch the new version. So that will be coming, it's just not now. Then Microsoft Teams, you'll have that to do as well, but they're still working out the bugs for students to be able to have access to it. Right now it's set up for employees, and I want you guys to be able to have exposure to it so that when you go to the workplace, you're able to say not just that you have Microsoft Office experience, but that you have Office 365 experience and the broad base of apps that includes. I already mentioned the early completion for extra credit. So if you get things done in 2 weeks instead of 3, you get some extra points. And the rest of these items are about your team project. And you'll have new teams this time from your previous experience. And this assignment has multiple steps. The first step is individual research. So what I want you to do as a team is, well, number one, I want you to watch the video, but then I want you to, as a team, find something about higher education that you're not a fan of. What would you change if you could? And then each person in the team takes a different area of focus on that topic. So let's say, for example, a few terms back, I had a group of students who wanted to use the insets in our circle as motorcycle parking. Great idea. So one person in their team researched the costs associated with it. Another person researched lower and found out that there were lower accident rates and damage done to bikes when they had specialty parking. And then another one tied into the motorcycle lessons that we provide through STAR. So they looked at it from a variety of angles, and each person did independent research. This is the format for your independent research. So you'll have the name of your article, the location, the authors, and then a summary of your article. And you have to have at least 3 per person. That gives you enough information so that you can use it to write your paper. And each team will write 1 paper total. This is not just an exercise in creativity, innovation, and change. This is about learning to work together, negotiating, so that you can edit and come to a consensus in your group paper. You'll have a cover page. You'll have 3 pages in the body of your paper, and then you'll have a references page. You need at least 5 references. Now, you'll have more than that. You don't have to use more than 5. No more than 30% of your paper is direct quotes, because I want to know how you guys are tying that information in. So step 1, you're selecting a single topic. Step 2, individual research for each team member. And before you even get started on any of this, I expect your team charter to be in place. So if I see that that isn't in place and you've started working on other things, that will hurt your grade. Then your team will work together and write a 3-page paper plus cover plus references about how the change should be addressed and what you can do, because nobody wants someone just grumbling. Come with an idea. I would like to see this change, and this is an idea for how it could change. This paper is in APA formatting, and there are multiple deadlines. So I want to see the first thing completed is your team charter. The second thing completed would be your individual research. You'll post that in this assignment area, and you'll also post it to your team area. The third step is to create your paper. Now, I used to have just the team leader post the final paper for grading. But now that we have e-portfolios in Canvas, I'm finding that if you don't post the paper, you don't have access to it once you get to where you're working on your e-portfolio. So everyone in a team should submit the same paper. If I find discrepancies in the submissions, you'll get 0 points. If your paper is fewer than 5 pages, you get 0 points. If your paper is more than 5 pages, maybe you have 4 pages in the body of your information, you get 0 points. So cover page, 3 pages, reference page. In here, you're going to be submitting your individual work. We come back to, you're going to have your team charter in your team area. I'm just going to be looking for that by Sunday. Then you'll have your team project innovations, and this is where each person will submit the paper, and I'll change it here. It's not just your not your team leader, it's everybody. And everybody should be submitting the same paper. So make sure it's posted in your team area as the final version, and then submit that version. And on the front cover, on that cover page, list active members and non-active members separately. Then the last task after you have everything done is your team review innovations in education. I have this empty at the moment. I will be putting your review in a few days. I find that if I put it in right away, people complete it before they've even done their project, and I have a problem with that. So I'm asking you to complete your team project first. So that's everything that's going on in Module 3. I'm excited to read your submissions and to see the images that you post. If you have any questions, let me know. And have a great time working on your items.